That's right, a new Ultimate Take It Challenge video is here! You have no idea how much I have wanted to give you this episode, but because of the lack of time, I haven't been able to record that much, so I'm so sorry. Anyway, it is time to see how it goes for the Greenwood family. Cedric is getting married, and oh boy, this episode is a lot. Thank you so much for the response on the last video. If you have any ideas for the future, comment or DM me on Instagram. But anyway, enough talking. Enjoy the show. Year 1301. On Cedric's wedding day with Estelle Johnson, a little fox visits the farm. Cedric immediately scared him away. That fox could probably snitch some eggs or a hen if Cedric wasn't careful. At the church, everyone was ready for the wedding. Maria played for the first time in a while by the harp, and it was beautiful. She was so happy to see her oldest son get married, and she waited patiently for grandkids. She didn't want her son to rush having kids, but everything would get easier if she knew that Estelle was fertile. Edward and William tried not to tease each other. Cedric got very irritated when his big sons acted like children on Cedric's wedding. This was important for Jasper. When it was time for the wedding, Cedric stood proudly by the altar. But when Estelle came to Cedric, she yelled at him for forcing him to marry him. She stopped the wedding and Cedric left in shock. Everyone who sat to watch the beautiful wedding became silent. Cedric got rejected by a girl. Jasper tried to calm Cedric down, but he was out of range. Maria and Jasper assured Cedric that there must be someone else he can marry and that Estelle would get some big problems by rejecting him. After all, at this time, women didn't have much power, so leaving your soon-to-be husband wasn't that common. Cedric didn't know what he should do. He was lonely, ashamed, and so angry. Suddenly, a girl came and wanted to talk to Cedric. He sat down with her and asked what she wanted. Lisa Baker begged him to marry her. Cedric looked at the girl with question marks. What did she mean? He didn't know her. Lisa said that she was homeless with her little brother, and if Cedric married her, they wouldn't starve. Was it a trap? Cedric looked at Lisa's brother. He was a small boy, probably not long left before he would starve to death. Cedric couldn't say no. He wanted to be a good man, even if he had no idea how this would go. What if it was a lie? He agreed, and Cedric and Lisa went up together by the altar. Jasper and Maria watched their son marry a stranger out of nowhere. They didn't understand anything. Something they also didn't understand was that Edward wasn't at the wedding anymore. And well, when Estelle left the wedding, she had bumped into Edward and she fell for him. And Edward did the same. The love between them couldn't stop them from spending some time together. Thank God no one saw them. After the wedding, Edward went to Jasper and asked if he could marry Estelle and if she could move in. Jasper was so shocked by everything that he just nodded. So Estelle moved in as well. Cedric did not like that she lived in the same house as him. But after some days when Jasper had thought about everything that happened back at the wedding, he asked the church if Edward could get married earlier than expected, and they agreed. So Edward and Estelle would move out soon. The love between Cedric and Lisa was really good. Lisa was very kind and didn't say anything about trying for kids with Cedric. She agreed to everything her husband wanted. He had saved her family, so now she would do anything for him. So if Cedric wanted her to carry his children, she would. Daniel was so happy to finally have family. He loved the farm, and to see his sister happy was something he had wanted for a very long time. Jasper, on the other hand, did not feel good. If you remember, he had been quite sick, but now it was really bad. He had collapsed on the bench, and Cedric had to lift his father to the bed upstairs. He prayed for his father to find strength. But unfortunately, Jasper's time was up. In the morning, he stopped breathing and left this world. Maria and Cedric stood by Jasper's body in silence. What would they do without Jasper? Cedric was the man in the house now, but he wasn't ready. They all sat at breakfast, trying to be as normal as possible, but it didn't work. Edward spoke with his mother that everything would be okay and that he would help her with anything. They did laundry together, but Edward saw in his mother that something wasn't right. She was sick, but she was also thinking of something. He just couldn't ask her what. She just said that everything was fine. She wasn't fine though. Maria was exhausted and in a bad condition. Her sons didn't know what to do with her. They thought about calling a doctor, but they didn't have money for that. Estelle was so happy to call herself a Greenwood. Working on a farm wasn't that bad. She wanted to own animals herself, and Edward had looked around for a farm they could move into. Estelle and Edward could talk about anything together, and she loved that. They had actually talked about moving away from the village and search for a better place, but right now it was impossible. Estelle had a secret she couldn't tell Edward yet. She was pregnant. After some weeks, it was finally time for Edward and Estelle to get married. Cedric had tried a whole morning to remember everything his father had told him about plants, and Maria, still very weird, thought about her gone husband and the future. Estelle told Edward on the wedding day that she was pregnant. Edward didn't understand. They hadn't done anything together because that was illegal, but then he remembered back when Cedric got married. They had been doing illegal activities that day. And just to clarify, woohooing before marriage wasn't illegal, but it was considered as a sin in church. And in the 1300s, religion was very important and the church had a lot of power. Edward said that if no one noticed, everything should be fine. But just talking with each other made them so in love that they did illegal activities once again. The wedding was amazing. Estelle and Edward showed everyone what love was and sure stood proud. But in the crowd of people, a man sat, disappointed. Pierre O'Learys. He saw Estelle Johnson now married to Edward Greenwood. She was supposed to marry his son, but it was too late. He was not happy. Maria saw him and tried not to talk to him. Thankfully, he talked with Lisa and William. I don't know what William tried to do with Pierre, but it seems like he didn't like it. Edward and Estelle moved out after the wedding and said he was so happy when they did. They also had a funeral for Jasper when Edward and Estelle had found themselves back home, and it was sad. Sad to see their father under a gravestone. He deserved so much better. Cedric and Lisa had talked about children for a long time now, and when Lisa said that she was pregnant, Cedric couldn't hold his feelings inside him. Everything was good again, even if his father's death was hard. But something still needed to be fixed. Cedric's little brother still hadn't found anyone to marry. Jasper couldn't help now, so Cedric didn't have a choice than talking to his brother. William wasn't supposed to get married until next year, but Cedric wanted to give him a chance at finding someone on his own. It didn't go that well though. Cedric got mad at William when he said that he didn't want to marry anyone. He had a secret he couldn't hold anymore. Cedric looked at his father when he told him the secret. William liked boys. Cedric couldn't look in William's eyes. He wanted his brother to feel shame. He had cursed the whole family with those thoughts. William didn't know what he could do. Cedric begged his brother to find any girl that he could marry and keep his secret for himself. If someone found out, William could lose his life. He agreed and ran to the family closest to the farm, the Jones family. Maybe they could help him. Even if they had a bad relationship with the Greenwoods, they actually liked when William came and asked for permission to marry Haley. He showed emotions, and Haley loved a man who could show when he was sad. She got to talk with William, and they decided to continue their talk in the woods, where they could be alone. They went to the woods and saw a big tower. Haley hit William and joked about the myth that they had been hearing when they were kids. William laughed as well. Marnie, the witch who turned kids into frogs. What a joke. When William laughed, he felt something in his breast. It was like someone stabbed him. He fell to the ground and Haley tried to wake him up, but his heart had stopped. From nowhere, Maria came and sat by her son, praying to the gods to save him. William's heart started to work again and he stood up. He looked at his father and Maria smiled, but William felt the stab once again, and this time the gods couldn't save him. Maria didn't understand. She screamed, "Liar!" and ran home. She told Cedric that William was gone and he couldn't understand his mother. He cried and begged Maria to give him answers, but she didn't say anything. Nothing at all. She went to the bed crying and praying. What did she do in the woods? Daniel was worried when people started to disappear. He was afraid of the life after death and slept with Lisa and Cedric the whole night. Cedric took care of Daniel like it was his own son. When the funeral for William came, Maria didn't want to come. Cedric couldn't understand what was wrong with his mother. His wife was pregnant, his brother was gone, and she didn't want to do anything to make the family continue. The funeral was so sad. William rested beside his father. Cedric felt like it was his fault. He had forced his brother to marry someone because of his secret. Did William feel like Cedric was leaving him? Maybe he was the reason William was gone. Lisa hugged Cedric and they went home with tears. Cedric went to Maria and screamed at her. What did she do in the woods? Why was William not alive anymore? What happened? Maria got angry and didn't tell him anything. Cedric had nothing to do with her life. She saw William die and that was it. Cedric knew that she was lying. He had to get answers from his mother. He just had to wait. Lisa waited happily for her baby. She couldn't sit still, so instead she needed some baby clothes. She wanted a son, so Cedric could be happy, but sadly she couldn't choose that. They just had to wait and see. Edward came over to mourn William. Cedric was actually glad to see his brother again. They talked about their wives and that both of them were going to be fathers soon. Cedric also told Edward about William's secret. Edward didn't know what to say, and the brothers agreed to never speak about it, ever again. The year had been tough for everyone, but somehow there was a light in the tunnel. Cedric waited for a child, Lisa was healthy, Daniel didn't starve, and Maria had a secret that needed to come out soon. Otherwise, she would lose all her sons. The problem was that Maria was so afraid to talk about it. She had done something really bad that could destroy the whole family.